Hello, I'm David and this is my friend Nick, and today we are going to be showing you how to install an exhaust on a Victory Octane. I'm going to hand it over to Nick here so he can explain why he picked the Two Brothers.
Well, David, I picked the Two Brothers because there's not a lot of choices out right now for the Victory Octane. This particular exhaust is actually for an Indian Scout. But I wanted a 2-in-1 because they're lighter and they make more power. At least that's what I understand.
Right.
And, it was the cheapest one that met that criteria. I think I paid $650 for it.
Super. Well, let's get started then.
Okay, the first thing we're going to do is loosen these 15 millimeter nuts up on the clamps. These would normally hold the stock exhaust or the stock mufflers on there. These are 17-inch M-Glow slip-ons. I added these last spring and they're just a little too loud for my taste anymore. Alright, David, now the next thing we're going to do is remove these two 13 millimeter nuts that hold the rear exhaust header to the rear cylinder head. We can get to both of them using a 13 millimeter socket on a universal.
Perfect.
Alright, and now we'll get the front two 13 millimeter bolts that hold the front header to the front cylinder head. In order to get those, we can get the top one with the same 13 millimeter socket and universal. The bottom one's going to require an open end 13 millimeter wrench. Alright, and then now we're going to take and loosen up the front oxygen sensor, the rear oxygen sensor. These are both 14 millimeter. You'll have to get them with a wrench. And then lastly, there's this bolt right here, which is 13 millimeter, and we should be able to pull the whole system off. Alright, and now that we got that factory exhaust out of the way, we're going to remove this bracket right here. It has one 24 millimeter nut right here, and then these are 8 millimeter Allen head. I'll use my ratchet for those. Alright, now we're going to start putting the new exhaust on. We got the two header pieces already bolted in place. We're using the same 13 millimeter nuts that we just removed a minute ago. I've also already installed the oxygen sensors. A little trick with the oxygen sensors is you sort of loosen them up first and twist the wire in the opposite direction so that when you spin it into the hole in the pipe, it sort of straightens itself back out and it's not under any tension. Right now everything's just kind of loose though. We're going to leave it loose until we get the whole system on there, and then we're going to tighten it up at the end so we don't have to go back and undo any of our work. Okay, and now we've got the header, collector, and the muffler all attached. Everything's just fitted loose right now. We're going to install these little springs to hold the header pipes to the collector, and then we're going to start tightening everything up. Alright, now that everything's installed, the last thing that we're going to do is wipe down the pipe with a little bit of acetone and a microfiber towel to remove any oil that we might have got on it during installation. If the stainless steel gets hot with oil on it, it can turn a funny color, and we don't want that. Alright, and then the last thing we're going to do is install this nice little heat shield here using the supplied two hose clamps. They're 8 millimeter, so we'll just slip them around there and tighten that down.
Now that the exhaust is installed and Nick's had a few days to enjoy it, what are your impressions of it?
Well, David, I love the way it sounds. I love the way it looks. And I especially like the way it sounds in an idle and when you're first taking off. The only thing that I don't like about it is when you're going on long trips at highway speeds, it gets a little droney. So I ordered the silencer from Two Brothers. That should be here in a couple days. We're going to put it in, and I'll probably leave it like this just for going around town, but when I have longer trips, that'll help tone it down a little bit. Other than that, it's perfect.
Cool. Yeah, it definitely sounds beast. If you guys like what you see here, please subscribe and leave any comments below. We're also going to be installing a DynoJet tuner, applying some tunes. He's going to do an intake, and then we're going to head off to a shop and see how much power it makes at the rear wheel, maybe even a drag strip or two. Thanks for watching.